Hey everybody, it's your boy Big L, Captain Hunter. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. We want to start off with talking about Sean Combs, and this was asked to me my opinion about what's going on with Sean Combs, and why are they seemingly going after this guy, and this is part of the Adult Survivors Act and all this type of thing. And so I've got a number of tabs here open. I'm not going to read through all of these, but I just want to give a synopsis of what's going on with him and try to give my opinion about it. I guess I'll start off with my opinion. Having read a number of different articles about this, right, it seems as if the charges are very valid. If he was, and most of these started off, most of these charges started off of allegations or civil complaints. I was sexually assaulted at a party, 30 years ago by different people. I think there's an article here about the different people I had who were all claiming, right? I think this is it right here. This is an article from the Independent. What are the latest allegations against Sean Diddy Combs as he is arrested in New York? And you go through a number of things, right? We've seen a Cassie where he was violently assaulted her. That was, back in May or so. Derek Lee Cordello, this guy's an inmate, 51, doing time. Said he spiked his drink, and now he's going to be getting $10 million a month, starting in October, which is crazy, right? Rodney Lil Rod Jones. More women come forward. An anonymous complainant, unnamed accuser Jane Doe. Allegations of gang R's and all this type of stuff, right? People were, allegedly held down or sex trafficked or, flying out from different places to commit these different assaults. This is where the trafficking stuff comes in at. Now, the Department of Homeland Security, I'm assuming that they were called in because they had the resources to look into resources and have the knowledge of trafficking, flights and airplanes and trains and however else they transport between state lines and between borders. It's my assumption that they are the reason that this is coming, that they are coming through. After meeting in a bar, this is the lady, April Lamppost. After meeting in a bar in New York, she succumbed to pressure to drink alcohol after delusional violent outbursts. Right, you got to throw that violence in there. Somehow it has to be some type of threat. So, and that's always what was on my mind. Like, where's these threats coming from? Right, these people are going to see this dude for right between 2019 2000. Right, this is 5 years, more than 5 years of this type of stuff. Why can't you just go home? I'm not saying that people don't suffer from different traumatic experiences and respond differently and succumb to different pressures, but it is something that one has to keep in the back of their mind. So they have to show that there's threats and promises and most likely threats that would keep one to engaging in those types of activities. So this is what they have to prove in all of these allegations concerning the criminal cases, right? Jane Doe, number 2, September 27th, it was hit with a 10th lawsuit anniversary. Doe says in the suit that Combs met her in the fall of 2020 on an overseas vacation, paid for her to travel there. The two began seeing each other. They met her once a month, and Combs would often drug her against her will. Again, this is 4 years ago. Then she sexually assaulted. But you kept going. I mean, this is the issue, right? You kept going. He's flying you all to these different places, but you kept going. Okay, I mean, how many times? And they're going to have to address these types of allegations. Address these types of allegations. Why? That's going to be a question. If he drugged you once. How many times did he drug you within the 4 year span? You're there once a month. You're saying every month. Why'd you get on the plane to go back? That's a question that's going to have to be answered. So, this is something I'm gonna have to look into and really try to try to get into. So, listen, I try to reserve judgment for the final case, but to the answer why the Homeland Security was looking into it, I would assume because of their resources and all that, and yes, did he use his music influence to force women into sex and freak offs and trafficking empire? Prosecutors say. So this is an empire that he had going on, in which he had other people in on it, other people providing drugs, other people, quote unquote, threatening individuals in all this racketeering. And, he's got other people involved in this racketeering and drugs trafficking. Racketeering is that you got other people in on it, helping you to break the law and things along those lines, right? Dragging them by the hair, using intense physical force on his victims, sometimes throwing objects in their direction, and occasionally dragging them by the hair. What's damning, I think, well, this is going to be damaging too, brandishing his AR-15. What's also going to be damaging is that he, didn't do anything as far as some of these civil suits, defending himself, just paying them. So he denied his request for bail because he probably knew he was going to. I wonder what Combs's net worth is. $1 billion. So he might have it, if he invested his. I thought he was a billionaire, but I wasn't sure. So anyway, so this is what this guy is dealing with. These parties and all this. So I was listening to another podcast. Here's a list of individuals, right? We're going to get to this is the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, Combs, Trump, Axl Rose, Cosby, right? All of these individuals. So I was listening to another podcast, and they were interviewing this guy, and he said that his analysis, what they asked him what his thoughts were about P. Diddy, and he gave the most ridiculous answer. He said, basically, this tells you, I'm not worried about it. I got other things to do, and if you're worried about what this man is doing, you got other things to worry about. I think that was a ridiculous answer, because this guy is himself a podcaster, content creator, who is often looking into and reading over stories and reading things to try to make his own empire bigger and to stay current and relevant. So why are you excluding P. Diddy from your analysis? So I just thought that was a weak argument and full of just inconsistencies. So let me just say this, that here's what you as a young man should do. Particularly, this is for people who are interested in some form of law enforcement. What you should do is you should recognize on your way up, the mistakes that other people have been making along their lives. When we walk through this article right here, this talks about not only these really high, famous, powerful people, and this article is called "The End of Sexual Assault Law" that sent shockwaves through every industry. And there's a part on here that talks about correctional officers. Mr. Lamonsoff outlined what the process must have looked like for prisoners who were abused by correctional officers. Were they really going to hire a lawyer? Were they really going to assert their rights after being sexually assaulted? So this comes for every industry, every boss, thousands of cases where they were filed against under ASA. Nearly 500 took on the city's Department of Correction. Many female former inmates have accused male corrections officers of abusing them while they were incarcerated. Some also became pregnant, the suit says. So listen, this can touch you, right? So here's what I'm saying to you. On your way up, or whatever you're doing, you got to maintain an aura and an attitude of professionalism, because you never know what's going to happen to you. If you are out there abusing people and you're making your employees do this and do that and sleeping with people, then I think that is, I think it's reprehensible. And number two, they may end up coming for you one day. You never know what your text messages are going to be and reveal. And if you're not in the know, there was a lady who sits on the House of Representatives for the state of South Carolina, who went on a show on CNN, and when they had a heated argument with her counterpart, what's his name? Michael Eric Dyson, she took screenshots of this brother, claiming that this dude, was trying to get at her in a way. So in a more than friendly type of way. So you got to be careful about what you're doing on your way up, and make sure that you're comporting yourself with all niceness and all that. So just make sure that you are protecting yourself and acting in accordance with the law and doing everything that's in your power and everything correctly, right? So this idea, so you don't know where your text messages go, you don't know where your emails were going to go. That's the reason I'm going to, that's why I'm going to talk about Michael Eric Dyson and lumping him in with these individuals. No, clearly what he has done has been nowhere near to the level of what Diddy has done, but it shows you that people are keeping receipts for your attitudes, for your behaviors, for the things that you said. That goes for social media and things along those lines. So you really got to be careful about how you are going about things. Speaking about being careful about how you go about things, you have to take a look at New York Mayor Eric Adams. New York Mayor Eric Adams accepted harmless courtesies, not bribes, his lawyer said. Let me see if I can make this any bigger here. New York City Mayor Eric Adams launched a legal attack on a federal corruption case on him Monday, with his attorney asking a judge to toss out bribery charges and holding a combative news conference accusing prosecutors of ethical lapses. Adams, a Democrat, pleaded not guilty to Friday to charges that he accepted lavish travel benefits and illegal campaign contributions from a Turkish official and other foreign nationals, and in return performed favors, including pushing through an opening of a Turkish consulate building. The mayor's attorney said in a motion filed early Monday that the cheap flights to overseas destinations, seat upgrades, free meals, and free hotel rooms he got were not bribes, and that the crime had been defined by federal law. I am so thirsty. What's up with that? Congressmen get upgrades. They get corner suites. They get better tables at restaurants. They get free appetizers. Have their iced tea filled up, his attorney said in a subsequent news conference. Courtesies to politicians are not federal crimes. While not disputing that Adams accepted flight upgrades, Spiro said his client had never promised to take action on behalf of the Turkish government in exchange for the perks, which prosecutors say more than $100,000. There's no quid pro quo. There were no this for that, Spiro said. The mayor has vowed to continue serving while fighting the charges, which he has suggested without providing evidence are politically motivated. So around him, a bunch of his cronies and people at the police department. Oh, this is crazy. In September 2021, the official, why can't I highlight this? The official sought to cash in the favors by asking Adams to expedite the opening of a 36-story Manhattan consulate building, which fire safety inspectors said was not as safe to occupy, ahead of the important state visit by the Turkish president Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Probably butchered that guy's name. According to the indictment, Adams then sent a series of text messages to the fire commissioner pushing him to open the building, something that also Spiro did not dispute. Listen. This is what I'm saying. People are keeping receipts. They have receipts, whether it's government, phone pics, all this type of stuff, right? You really have to be on your P's and Q's. So when somebody tells you that you're too busy to understand what's going on, the world that you live in around you, I got to say that I question that person's judgment. So pay attention to the world that's around you. Pay attention to, if you want to be somebody one day, what Mayor Henyard is doing, right and wrong, what Eric Adams is doing, right and wrong, what Michael Eric Dyson did, right and wrong. Let me screenshot this. What Michael Eric Dyson did right and wrong. What P. Diddy Combs did right and wrong, right? You gotta monitor yourself and monitor the world in which you live, and make sure that you comport yourself with enough grace and enough wisdom to act appropriately and to act accordingly. So that's what I want to leave it off on. All of these cases are going to be tried out. We don't know what it is going to be yet. You know, Eric Adams is going to fight. P. Diddy's going to fight. And Michael Eric Dyson is going to continue to fight the allegations against him. But you know, time will tell, and we shall see. So that's it for now. Much love and peace. Those are my opinions about these particular stories that are going on. Young men, young women, if you're on your way up, take heed to what is going on around you and understand that the words that you say, the text messages that you write, the emails that you send, the Snapchats, the Instagram, the WhatsApp messages, all these different messages may come back to bite you. So much love and peace.